After a thrilling win over Auburn in the Iron Bowl, Alabama's SEC championship game bound. Let's talk about it right here on Tide Talk Live. What is up, everybody? Welcome back in to another edition of Tide Talk Live, powered by the Believe Network. Stacey Blackwood, alongside my good buddy Jake Thomas, here to recap Alabama's 27-20 win over Auburn in their Iron Bowl. We'll also look a little ahead to the SEC championship game matchup against the Georgia Bulldogs, and we'll also kind of give our thoughts on the SEC coaching carousel and the wild ride that has been today on Sunday. What a crazy day in the SEC coaching world. Jake, I know you didn't get a chance to join the live show last night, so we'll get your thoughts on the game here in just a minute. But just quickly, man, are you recovered from the emotional win last night?
Whew, yeah, my emotions were up, down all game. Very high in the first quarter and a half when Alabama was up 17-0. I kind of got relaxed, and then it just kind of derailed there in late second quarter to end the halftime. Third quarter especially, you're just like, oh my gosh, why are we letting this team stay in it? And my blood pressure's back up to here again. And then the fourth quarter, man, what a fun fourth quarter though. Honestly, it was, there was times that Alabama, even before the fourth quarter, had a chance to put the game away and they couldn't. And there was times in the fourth quarter that Auburn could have snagged the tie, but they couldn't do that either because Alabama's defense stepped up. So, man, what a great game though.
It was incredible. We'll talk more about that here in just a minute.
Mhm.
Before we do all that, got to take care of some business. Make sure you do like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube. Jump in the comment section. Give us your thoughts on Alabama's win over Auburn, your thoughts on the SEC championship game, and maybe your thoughts and opinions on all the coaching movements in the SEC and kind of how that's going to impact things moving forward in the conference. And uh, we are powered by the Believe Network, which makes us free and available wherever you find your podcast, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. You can find Tide Talk Live. Make sure you subscribe, download us there, and leave us those written reviews on the podcast platforms, and we would greatly appreciate that. So, Jake, I guess we talked about how emotional the game was. If you're a part of our Discord, you saw a lot of intense conversation during the game
Yeah.
in our Discord server. So if you're not a part of that, make sure you do join our server. It's free. We have a lot of fun talking every single day about Alabama athletics, football, basketball, the whole yard. So a lot of good conversations there during the game. So it was an emotional, intense matchup. Alabama gets the early lead. Looks like they're going to run away with it, up 17-0 in the second quarter. Then the wheels kind of fall off for you, and Auburn goes on a 20-3 run before Alabama has that
Mm-hmm.
just incredible 17 play, 75-yard drive that resulted in a touchdown that took almost 8 minutes of clock in the fourth quarter, and that was the difference in the game. Jake, just your overall thoughts on Alabama's performance and what you hope this team can continue to build on.
Well, one thing that I saw is it seemed like before Jam got hurt, we started seeing some rushing lays being made from the offensive line. I really thought the offensive line, outside of a few plays, especially on pass plays, running plays, they blocked really well and made some holes for the running backs. Daniel Hill was able to get a few good chunk runs. And I say chunk runs a lot, 4 to 5, 6 yards a carry. I'm not saying, chunk runs have to be, 10, 12, 20 play like runs, but any little bit helps, especially moving this offense forward. And I think I said, or we said in our pregame or preview show, I felt like if Alabama could have a rusher that was around 75 yards, it would really help, the offense and would help Alabama to win this game. Jam Miller had 83 yards, and I'm not sure exactly how many Hill had, but Jam really set the tone early, run the ball. Now he's out. Next man up is going to be Daniel Hill for the SEC championship game. I'm very confident in his abilities, but who's going to be behind him? We're probably going to see a lot of AK Deer, and I expect to see a lot more AK Deer next week or this coming week as well. And I'm really excited to see what this kid can do.
Yeah, offensively, it was much of what it's been the last few weeks. Just inconsistent, good at times, but then also bad at times. And
Hmm.
I think a lot of it comes down to the fact. Now, look, we can officially debunk the theory that Alabama struggles on offense is because we can't run the football.
Yeah.
That's obviously not the truth
Right.
because we ran the football better than we have all year last night and still struggled on offense.
Right. Yep. That's true.
So it's more about execution
Hmm.
and it's more about making plays at the right times. And it's also about not getting too cute on offense, which I think Grubb is a little, uh, he does that a little too often.
Yeah.
That's kind of a conversation for a different day. We talk about that in our Discord server as well. Just getting too cute at times. You have a 17-0 lead and you try some kind of trick play for no apparent reason because you're running the football down their throats. You've kind of established and start to imposing your will in this game, and you roll out a trick play for no
Mhm.
apparent
Right. Yep.
no sense in it.
No sense.
In it. No need to get cute there. You take all the momentum away from your team when you do that, and you're not successful. Just keep doing what you've been doing. Run the football on first and second down. Set up third and short, and Ty will thrive against zone coverage. And if you throw out man against him, he's going to beat you with his legs. So, just getting a little too cute for their own good on offense, I think, is probably to me the biggest issue with the offense.
Hmm.
Not making the simple things simple.
Yeah.
Like Jam Miller not getting his head turned around quick enough on a wheel route, which would have picked up massive yardage on a 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
Just the little things like that that can change the outlook of games. Ty Simpson being able to hit Jeremy Bernard on the deep shot on the first drive. Hit that, you score a touchdown.
Right.
So, everything it can be changed with a play or 2 here from this Alabama offense. It's not because we don't have the dudes to do it. It's just a lack of not executing when the play is there, and then also getting a little too cute for our own good. But, you mentioned the running game. Jam Miller was fantastic before the injury. Daniel Hill ran hard. AK got a carry for, 6 yards or something like that.
Hmm.
Mm, or, no, he caught a pass is what it was.
Caught a
He caught a
pass. Yeah.
pass. Caught a pass for 6 yards, I think in the only snap he really had.
Right.
Um, but, with Jam likely out, and we know Kevin Riley's got the broken jaw, he's gonna be out. It's probably gonna be a Daniel Hill and AK Deer show against Georgia in the SEC championship game. But overall, this offense, it's easy to be negative, but and I put this in our Discord server this morning. The last 4 SEC games, Alabama's played what? What do you remember what it was, Jake? It was the 12th, the 3rd, here
Oh, the
I'll
fourth.
the
Yeah.
4th and the 11th ranked defenses in the
Yeah.
country.
Hmm.
Um, and if you combine that with the fact that they've had a lot of injuries, uh, maybe Grubb is a little more inconsistent on what he needs to be doing in terms of play calling. It kind of makes sense that the offense has been inconsistent.
Hmm.
I mean, it shouldn't be shocking that the offense has struggled when you've played that type of defense over the last few weeks. So I'm trying to find the exact. Okay, here it is. They faced the number 12 defense, the number 8, the number 4, and the number 11th best defense in the country. The last 4 conference matchups. So you're talking about elite defenses each and every game. We shouldn't be that surprised that the offense has not looked like it looked in the middle of the season. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised by that. We've played some really good defenses.
Yeah.
So, uh, that's also part of it. So I don't think fans need to be panicked about the offense. I think it's more about just executing the small things, and I think if they can do that, they'll be just fine.
If they just do the small things correctly, that this team is going to go far. It's just like you said, Stacey, all about execution, and that's what and intensity. And we've been missing that the last couple of weeks.
Well, and I'll say this: they executed when it mattered last night
Yeah, man.
with that long
Yeah.
touchdown drive to win the game. And
Hmm.
man, kudos to Zay Horton who showed up in a big way.
Yeah.
Offense didn't get much from Jerm. We didn't get nothing from Ryan Williams. Lottie Brooks was okay, but he had a big drop.
Hmm.
Um,
Missing
so
Cuevas big time.
Miss Josh Cuevas, Marshall Pritchett dropped a pass. But
Hmm.
overall the two freshmen, they played okay, but man, you missed a guy like Josh Cuevas last time.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so it's the first game we've had to play without Cuevas, a meaningful game.
Yeah.
And so uh, it I don't think there's any reason to panic if you're an Alabama fan in terms of the offense. The offense is going to be just fine.
Yeah, I agree, Stacey. And I was impressed on the run blocking ability of Kyle Edwards. I thought
Yeah.
he did some good job. He did a good job when he was asked to block on passing situations. I thought he did really well.
Yeah, I don't have much complaints about the way Caleb Edwards and Marshall Pritchett played
Yeah.
in place of Josh Cuevas, and I mean,
Hmm.
you think
They're
about the
just
injuries this team has had to fight through all season long
right.
on
Yeah.
both sides of the football.
I mean, Daniel Lewis, I think, has only played like two games all
One or two
season.
games, maybe.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
our best blocking tight end,
Right. Hmm.
and he's a veteran player who's played a bunch of SEC football. You don't
Right.
mean to tell me he can't help you win football games?
Yeah.
He can help you make winning plays.
Jam Miller was missed up until the Georgia game, and then got re-injured against Missouri halfway through the game.
Yeah. I feel bad
Just
for Jan Miller this year because
yeah.
after he come back from the injury, he's
Hmm.
starting to find his way. He's starting to get better. Plays really good against Vanderbilt. Gets the concussion against Missouri, having a good game up there in Columbia.
Hmm.
Misses. He tries to play after the concussion. He also is dealing with that injury to his chest or whatever's going on,
Yeah.
or shoulder, whatever it was. Then last night he gets injured after playing his best game since the Vanderbilt game. So
Yep.
just really unfortunate year for Jan Miller, who's really laying it on the line for his team. And uh, I hate that he's not probably going to be able to play in this SEC championship game.
Right. But you want to talk about that fourth down
Huh.
conversion, Stacy. What I mean, those we may get blocked for this. I don't care. The balls of steel that Kalen DeBoer has to call that play. The third down call. It wasn't great, and it fell and you like fourth down. Like, well, do we kick the field goal? It is a chip shot for Talty. And that's another thing I want to say. Talty really impressed me last night. He did a great job as well. So I think Alabama fans need to lay off him a little bit. I think he's going to get better as more games he gets under his belt and plays. But you can kick the field goal. It's an easy chip shot for Talty to go up three. But Kalen DeBoer is like, no, we're going to go for two here because, like he said in his post game interview with Holly Rowe, I trust my quarterback and I trust my guys to go execute and make that play, and they do. Man, what a gutsy call, and I love it.
Yeah, I can't really add anything to that. I talked about that
Hmm.
last night for
Hmm.
several minutes. Just the stones it took
Yeah.
to uh to call that, and he had faith that Ty would deliver, and had
Hmm.
faith that whoever the ball was thrown to, that they would make the catch. And
Right.
um just unbelievable. I mean, that's
Yeah.
going to go down in the history books of the Iron Bowl, Jake, of one
Right.
of the great plays. And uh I'll say this, seeing Coach DeBoer emotional in the post game with Holly Rowe
Hmm.
when Ty Simpson walked up,
Yeah.
um it made me feel like this is the guy for Alabama.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of, and I think it's just been stupid rumors about the whole Penn State situation. I think that's all been a bunch of junk anyway.
Right.
And that told me all I needed to know. I
Yeah.
think he loves Alabama. I think he's starting to feel comfortable at Alabama.
Hmm.
And I think it feels like Kalen DeBoer's football program now.
Yep. Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Stacy. And like you said, he's getting more comfortable. He's taken that pressure and has pretty much squashed all the noise this year. This honestly, that there's a lot of talent and there's a lot of key pieces that are seniors, but overall, this team's young, and we've got a lot of good guys coming in this recruiting class this upcoming year. Kevin Boer is part of that culture building, and what is the future coming up in the future for Alabama. This team ain't going anywhere. They got 10
No.
wins this year. You know, the future is bright at quarterback because I think Mac or Russell, either one, is going to be great when their time comes. And that running back room is just spectacular. I think Ryan Williams right now is still kind of banged up. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with him, but I think he's been injured for much of the year. I think he'll be back next year and he'll be healthy. I think you see a different Ryan Williams. The offense is going to be great, and then that defense. Replace some pieces on defense, but this team is looking at another 10-win season next year for sure.
Well, and what I like, and it gets a little frustrating sometimes during the season, but when you kind of reach this part of the season and you kind of you can have a bigger picture idea of what the year looked like. The fact that this coaching staff plays so many dudes,
Yeah,
you already know so much of the two deep, and then even in some spots, even potentially the three deep.
right.
That thinking ahead to the future and next year, like, well, golly, I mean, a guy like Red Morgan's ready. A guy like Dijon Lee's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Zay
Yeah.
Mincy's ready.
Yep.
QB Reese is going to be ready.
Yep.
London Simmons is ready.
Xavier Brown will be back.
Quay
He's
Russo,
already.
Yanze
Yeah.
Pierre, those two guys are ready. I mean,
Golly.
so there's so many dudes that have played on this
Mm-hmm.
team as a two deep player that you still feel confident in going into next year.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
even when you potentially lose guys like, you're going to lose Deontay Lawson, Justin Jefferson, Nikai Hill Green, Tim
Mm-hmm.
Keenan, you're going to lose Bray Hubbard most likely. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
he's probably one of the best safeties in the class. That dude's a freaking
God.
monster.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to shout out 5 players real quick from last night.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Zay Horton on offense.
Yeah.
Connor Talty.
Yep.
Red Morgan.
Yep.
Zabian Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And Bray Hubbard.
Yeah.
Dudes.
Just absolute dudes.
Red Morgan has low-key had a spectacular sophomore season.
He has. He's come on and just been great. And I love. There was a tweet last night. Somebody said that Xavier Brown had Coleman and Cam Coleman and Alcatraz all night. I mean, had him locked up. If you look, and I may have mentioned this in our Discord this morning, but if you look at that Auburn team, you didn't want Eric Singleton to get hot and beat you. You didn't want Cam Coleman to get hot and beat you. Now, if Simmons was going to be that third option, make him beat you. Now, he about did because, I mean, he's a good guy. But the two stars out wide for Auburn, they didn't do anything. And that really hurt them last night.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no doubt. By the way, I don't know if y'all remember this or not. Way on back in August in our preseason show, I had a bold prediction that Zay Horton would lead the team in receiving touchdowns.
And he did. Or he does right now.
He does.
Yep.
He has 8. Jeremy Bernard has 6.
Yep. Yeah, that's good call there.
Well, I needed that 3 touchdown performance last night.
Man, if it wasn't for Horton, it'd been rough. I think we still pulled it off, but it'd have been rough.
He made plays, man. Made plays.
He did.
All right, Jake. Anything else you want to add on the Iron Bowl before we just do a quick look ahead to the SEC championship game?
Again, Kane Womack and that defense has been spectacular.
Yeah, they didn't do nothing. They had a couple explosive plays.
Right.
One was a touchdown, and one got them inside the 5 for another touchdown. But outside of those couple plays, Auburn didn't really do much.
No, and I know Daniels had like 120 something yards rushing, but Jeremiah Cobb, which we mentioned, could be a guy that could take over this game because he's really good. I think he had like 33 yards. So Alabama did on defense did what they needed to do. They kept their stars in check, Auburn stars in check, and then allow them to have a superstar moment. So I'm perfectly fine with how the defense played last night.
For sure. All right, buddy, let's do a quick look ahead to this SEC championship game matchup against, of course, the Georgia Bulldogs, because who else would it be? It's just I know it's not an annual thing, but it feels like an annual thing.
God, you ain't kidding.
Alabama, Georgia for the 2025 SEC championship. By the way, if you want to, if this means anything to you or not, Alabama did finish the regular season as the number 1 team in the SEC
So
because they beat Georgia in the head-to-head.
they make a big deal about that in basketball. You know, you have a
Yeah,
regular season
yeah,
title and then a
yeah,
conference championship title.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
oh,
to me, when you and like A&M, I mean, they played Texas. They didn't really have anybody else tough in the SEC.
no. And when they played some of the Pulse, they got shellacked.
Texas handed it to
Mhm.
them in that second half for sure.
They did. They
Anyways,
did. Yeah.
anyways, so kudos to Coach DeBoer and his staff, SEC regular season champs in his second year as the head coach, uh, making it to Atlanta to play the Georgia Bulldogs. Hard to beat the same team twice in 1 year, but I'm telling you what I like about this matchup for Alabama is what I liked about in the first game. Georgia doesn't have an elite pass rush. Kirby's not a guy who loves to just bring a ton of dudes. He's
Mhm.
he wants to, bring 4 or 5 and try to play coverage, try to pattern match you. Um, and I just feel like Ty is going to be able to pick apart that Georgia defense, much like he did in Athens. And I look at this game was, can Gunnar Stockton and the Georgia offense score enough to win the ball game? So, I mean, I know Georgia opened up as what a 1.5 point favorite, I believe, is what I saw going into this matchup. But I mean, despite what you may think about this Alabama offense, I like Alabama in this game.
Mhm. Yeah. You know, and I think the reason why the point spread is for Georgia side because of where their ranks at. But
Hmm.
honestly, I think and I'm not trying to sound homerish here, but the better team is the underdog here. Honestly, I mean, we've already seen what happened in Athens.
And I love it.
Yeah, and I'm fine with being an underdog, but I will say there's a few things that seem to have changed since that matchup in Athens. Seems like Georgia has finally somewhat found a running game, but I think Alabama will be okay on that front. Um, and and Gunnar Stockton, he did not look good against Georgia Tech. I mean, like 73 yards passing. Now they really didn't need much because I mean Georgia Tech just could not do anything offensively. But I don't think that is indicative on how good this defense is for Georgia. Georgia's defense has not been that great. I mean, they've been good, but they're not the Georgia defense we've seen in the past. And we mentioned that in our pregame show when we was playing Georgia. So I think Alabama, like you said, can still find success. And I don't think Hill saw the field much at all against Georgia in this game.
Hmm.
This dude's a different running back than Jam Miller, who was in this game. I mean,
Yeah.
Daniel Hill is going to run people over. There's a dude in that hole. He's going to run somebody over. He's going to keep fighting for yardages. So he could be an X factor in this game, honestly.
Well, I mean, football, like most things, it's all about matchups, Jake. And I just
Hmm.
like the way this Alabama offense matches up of what Kirby and Glenn Schumann like to do defensively.
Right.
And we saw that in the game in Athens. And I know that Georgia kind of shut Alabama out in the second half, but it was more about Alabama just kind of protecting that lead to win the football game.
Hmm.
And I just feel like I was going to be able to make some plays against Georgia. And right now, I would take Alabama's defense over Georgia's defense.
Yep.
I think I think that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I would also, on a neutral field, all things even, would take the Alabama offense over the Georgia offense.
Hmm.
And so uh, I just that's why and maybe you can call me a homer if you want. I mean, this is Tie Talk Live. It's not Dog
Yeah.
Talk Live.
Right.
So
Hmm.
but realistically, I mean, tell me who, which offense do you want and which defense do you want? Don't
Hmm.
remove the whole Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann thing. I'm talking
Hmm.
about on the field performance this year. Which defense do you want?
Right. The
Eh,
Alabama defense. If you
uh,
want to go position by position,
I mean,
a quarterback.
We're better at
I'll
rushing
take time.
we're better at
Yep.
rushing the passer on defense.
Right.
We certainly create more turnovers and cause more havoc.
Right.
I mean, and that's the two ingredients on defense that you want to have in this age of college football.
Right. Yep. Exactly.
And we can talk about how the Georgia rushing attack's good. They ran all over us in the first game. It didn't matter.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I mean, I'm glad Alabama's not favored.
Yeah, me too.
Now,
Extra motivation.
Let me ask you this, Jake. Does Alabama have to win the SEC championship game to get into the college football playoff?
No, I no, I don't think so. I mean, it's going to be hard. It just seems like brand name it still means something, especially in this college football playoff. And Alabama, if they keep it close, I still think they're going to win. But if they keep it close, then I don't say you keep Alabama, out of the game. I mean, really, they have a loss to Georgia if that happens in the championship game. They have a loss to Oklahoma, who's in a playoff, and then the big blemish is, of course, the Florida State game. But as we know now, Florida State put all their eggs in the basket, and the entire offseason, they eat, slept, breathed Alabama football, and just played their hardest for that one game just to beat Alabama. Everybody can agree with that now. So I don't see how you keep Alabama out of the playoffs just because the committee has said in the past that if you make a conference championship game and you lose, they would not would not go against you. So they better not do it. I mean, I think Alabama's resume is a lot better than some of the guys in front of them. Notre Dame.
And that's where it all starts for me, Jake. I mean,
right.
They both finished the regular season 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the record's even.
Yep.
What stands out about one team or the other?
The strength of schedule for sure for Alabama. It's massively better than Notre Dame's.
Okay, let's look at this real quick. Alabama's strength of record is number 8.
Okay.
Notre Dame's is 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama's strength of schedule is 11th. Notre Dame is 42nd.
Oh,
so
wow.
tell me why Notre Dame should be ranked ahead of Alabama. I'm talking about in this coming Tuesday's playoff ranking.
They shouldn't be, but somehow they are.
It's beyond me.
It is. It's beyond me. I mean, you punish, Alabama. Notre Dame lost both of their games early in the season. Alabama lost one late in the season, but in that stretch, they beat 4 ranked opponents. So I just don't see how. And I will say this: I think Vandy's resume looks better than Notre Dame's does.
Okay, well, let's compare them. Okay, Vandy's strength of record is 11th, Notre Dame's 13th. Strength of schedule, Vanderbilt's 22nd, and Notre Dame's 42nd. Tell me why Vanderbilt is not ranked ahead of Notre Dame.
It's got to be the name. That's the only thing I can come up with. And they don't want to keep Notre Dame out of the playoffs. That's the only thing I can think of, Stacey. The only thing I think of.
There's no logical answer.
There's no logical answer.
And so, I mean, we could go off on a tangent here, but we'll stop it for the moment because it's frustrating because they talk out both sides of the mouth. And the fact that they brought up Alabama's rushing attack as a reason, me shows that they should not have the responsibility of deciding who makes the playoff.
No, absolutely.
They lost all credibility when he said that.
yeah, the whole committee, not just him.
That's sad. It's sad.
It is very sad.
All right, Jake. Real quick, we'll wrap the show up with just some SEC coaching carousel. We'll start with the biggest news of Lane Kiffin taking the LSU job and the fiasco and the circus that was. And obviously Ole Miss is going to replace him with Pete Golding, the former Alabama DC, currently or was the DC of Ole Miss, now going to be promoted to head coach. Just your thoughts on Kiffin at LSU and Golding at Ole Miss.
I'm happy for Golden, honestly. I think he's done enough and has proven himself enough to earn a head coaching job. Now, with it being Ole Miss start out of the gate, maybe that's a little, extreme, but maybe they saw something and believe in him, because it seems like Lane Kiffin has pretty much, told the entire offensive staff that you're going with me. If you don't, you're not gonna have, you're not gonna have a job. Um, I just don't know what about Lane Kiffin. I thought he had grown up some,
Mm.
but obviously he hasn't, because he's still acting this childish ways. He's wanting, if I don't get my way, then wham, 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 wham. He cries about it. And we have talked about, and it's been mentioned numerous times, and I don't care how many times it's been said that Coach DeBoer was like Greg Burns, like third or fourth option. No, it wasn't, because it was out of Greg Burns' mouth himself when he, in that his press conference, he said, "We made a decision that we was making a one-way trip to Washington, or a two-way trip to Washington. We was gonna bring back our coach.
Yeah.
There was nowhere else that plane was going." And when you have the athletic director of the University of Alabama coming to ask you to be your coach, you're going to say yes for sure. Lane wants this job so bad, but I'm glad, Greg Burns stayed away from that nightmare, because what if an NFL team comes calling him like 4 to 5 years and he's at LSU? He's probably going to leave, go to the NFL. Lane can't be trusted to stay where he's at. He's been at Ole Miss 8 years, and everybody's like, well,
Six.
maybe
Six.
6. So, well, maybe he's learned. And everybody talks about what Coach Saban did. Coach Saban wanted to come back to college football.
Yeah.
He said that,
Yeah.
and he come back to the greatest college football program in history of college football. Why would he want to leave to go anywhere else? Unless he's just sitting behind an analyst desk every Saturday, which he's doing now. He retired from coaching the greatest. Lane wants that so bad, but we're staying clear of him. I don't blame him at all. He may have some success but with this new age of college football, I think he could still be successful at Ole Miss, because there's zero pressure on your Ole Miss. He wins 19 games, then you have zero pressure, and you're getting all the money you want from the athletic program. Now you go to LSU, your expectation level is here. They want you to be in the championship game every single year. It's
Yeah.
gonna be tough, because Alabama's not going anywhere with Kalen DeBoer. Kirby Smart is still Kirby Smart. Georgia's still going to be pretty good. Texas looks like Steve Sarkisian is going to have them, in the playoff hunt. A&M looks like they're getting better each and every year. Florida just signed John Summerall. They're probably going to get better. It's going to be tough. The SEC, that's why it's always it just means more in the SEC for sure.
Yeah. In terms of Kiffin, I mean, if I was an AD, I'd stay as far away as I could.
Yep, me too.
He's a really good coach, but he's not worth the headache. And I think that Kiffin is going to be one of those coaches we look back on his career and say, man, he was a really good coach, but he just couldn't win the one that mattered.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be completely wrong and completely off base, and somebody could clip this down the road, and I look crazy, but it would surprise me if Kiffin ever won a national championship.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't think he's a good coach, but I just don't think he can get out of his own way.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. It's not many more years. An NFL team is going to call again. He's going to move on.
No.
I don't know that he'll last 5 years at LSU.
No. 3 to 5 is what I think.
And we could both be completely wrong on that. It just, the way this whole situation went down. I mean, how in the world can a coach think that he can go tell his team, "Hey, I'm going to go coach LSU next year, but I want to finish this season with y'all in the playoff"? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Hit the door, Bucko.
Yeah. And he released a statement that the players wanted him to be there too. Okay.
That's conflicting reports on that.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
if I was a player, I'd say adios.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not so much that he's leaving. It's the way the entire situation went down.
Right.
If I was Ole Miss, I'd be like, thank God he's gone. And I
Yeah.
know he's probably the best coach that they've had in a very, very long time. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the best they've ever had ever. Probably the best coach they've ever
Mhm.
had, if we're speaking candidly. And our
Right.
buddy Stephen Willis could probably speak more to that. Maybe we should have him on sometime to talk about that. But
Mhm.
um, I don't know. I just feel like he's a guy who is poison to a program.
Yeah. Yep.
But how you think Golden will do at Ole Miss? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I want to have a bold take here. I could see Golding being a better head coach, CEO type than an actual coordinator.
Yeah. I can see that too.
Because I think what impressed him most to Saban was how organized he was, how detail oriented he was,
Mhm.
and I think that could prove to be, a good attributes to have as the head coach. We'll see what kind of, because we both know that a lot of what determines a coach's success is how good a coaching staff you hire around you.
Right. Yeah.
So that's going to be a major story to watch for Pete Golden at Ole Miss.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what he can do. I think if again, we talked about expectations of Ole Miss. I still think even though Kiffin has won 9-10 games since he become prominently, good there, I still think if they win 8 games, 8-9 games, they'll be pretty happy with Golden, and I can see him doing that. All depends, again, like you said, the coaching staff and which players hang around with him. This is the credibility, a thing. I feel like it's a what do they call it, a loyalty thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got your head coach leaving to go somewhere else, but you got your defense coordinator who everybody loves, and I know everybody at Alabama has says what they want to about him, but the team loved him and his players loved him. So I think he's going to retain a lot of those players from the defensive side that's not moving on to the NFL. They're not going to follow Lane. They're going to stay there. Which of the quarterbacks is going to stay? Is Chambliss going to leave and go with Lane? Is Austin Stemmons going to stay with, or vice versa? It don't really matter. But I think if he can get the right personnel and the right players on offense, I think they're going to be pretty good for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Arkansas hires Ryan Silverfield from Memphis. That's a very Arkansas hire to me.
Yeah.
It's meh.
Yeah. Man.
They'll be okay, but
Yeah.
um,
It's 3 to 5 years he'll be gone.
doesn't
Fired.
really move the needle. And obviously, I've heard where there's some protests potentially going on
That's
there
insane.
in Fayetteville. But another one, Jake. Obviously, John Summerall going to be the Florida head coach. Probably the most popular name outside of Lane Kiffin, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
in this cycle in the SEC. We'll see. Feels a lot like the Billy Napier hire, honestly.
G5 to G5. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see on that. I mean, I think he's a good coach, but does he fit? We'll just have to
Right.
see. Then the one that probably is, I guess,
Closer to home.
closest to home is
Mm-hmm.
Alex Golesh being hired as the next Auburn head football coach. Now, some crazy things happened overnight because when I went to bed last night, people that know said it was going to be Durkin.
Right. A lot of
And
things
then
happen overnight.
and then a lot of things happened in about a 10-hour span that I haven't got a chance to talk to my Auburn guys about yet. So be interested to see what all happened there. Um, but they went and got Alex Golesh from South Florida. Um, good coach, good coach. But what, 3 years as a head coach is all?
Yeah.
3 years as a head coach, never
Mhm.
finished higher than what,
I think
fourth,
fourth or third,
third or fourth in the American?
and that's one of the best budgets in American too. One of the highest budgets, so
Yeah, I
not
mean,
good.
okay. They finished tie for fourth this year. The
Okay.
previous 2 seasons, they were fifth and then sixth. Golish went 7-6, 7-6, then 9-3 this year with South Florida. Um, I don't know. I think he's a good coach. I think he's tough. I think he's hard nosed. I think he's a go getter on the recruiting trail. But I want to Auburn. released a post about his quarterback development.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he worked under Campbell at Iowa State for
Yep.
Brock Purdy. Then he worked with Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton at Tennessee, and they attributed their success to Alex Golesh.
Yeah, I saw this.
Brock Purdy's been okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on a good team. He's not a great quarterback in the
No.
NFL.
No.
To my knowledge, Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker don't start.
Nope.
Hendon Hooker caught lightning in a bottle in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
He's had Byron Brown as his starting quarterback all 3 years at South Florida. I'm not convinced he's gotten just better and better every single year.
No.
So I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch to me that he is, just some kind of massive quarterback whisperer. I don't know. I just that just seems a little bit far fetched to me.
Yeah. He's thrown 14 touchdown passes this year.
Who's that?
By Byron Brown. And so 28, my bad.
Yeah, 20.
28 and 7,
Okay,
split,
but my point
but
is,
still,
his
right.
first year with him, he threw for 26 touchdowns and 11 interceptions as a
Right.
redshirt freshman.
Yeah, right.
So I just I feel like the defenses in the SEC are starting to catch up with what he likes to do, which is what Coach Heupel does at Tennessee. Sure, you can make some explosive plays, but it's a very inconsistent offense. Very reliant on having a quarterback that can hit the deep ball and receivers that can go get it. Now they do like to run the ball downhill, so I mean, I do think he's going to be okay at Auburn, but Auburn is wanting to hire a guy that can lead them to championships.
This guy's not going to do that.
Are we sure that Alex Golesh is that guy?
No.
I'm not. I'm not. And look, Auburn fans can hate me if they want to for saying this. I said it when they hired Hugh Freeze. The only reason Hugh Freeze had any kind of name in coaching is because he beat Alabama twice when he was the head coach at Ole Miss. Go look at his dadgum record.
Right.
It was very, very mediocre. Same thing with Alex Golesh here.
Yeah.
Very mediocre record. What's he best known for? He's played Alabama tight 2 times.
2 times. Yep.
So, I mean, if Auburn wants to keep chasing coaches who give Alabama fits and just keep falling into that pit of misery, by all means do it. But I just they dropped the ball not getting John Summerall, which would have been a better hire than Alex Golesh because they wouldn't make the decision, obviously. Or John Summerall was just didn't want it.
Right.
Which we don't know that for certain, but I don't know. I feel like they would have just been just as good off if they hired DJ Durkin.
I do too. And I think they would have, like you said, been an 8-win team under Durkin. They still may be an 8-win team under Golesh.
I mean, I see him being an 8-4 team. I mean,
but is that what they want?
That's not what they want.
No.
Jake, if he does that, if he goes 8-4 for 3 straight years, they're going to fire him.
Yeah. Malzahn went 9-3 his last year, and they fired him. I mean, oh goodness, yeah. They, I have said this and talking about Auburn fans, getting mad at you. I don't care, but they've got one big boosted problem, and until that guy relinquishes control of that program, they're going to have a program that's going to win 8-9 games a year. That's it. Because whoever goes there coach wise can't make any day-to-day decisions without getting approved by that guy.
Yeah. Well, and right now Auburn just has a losing culture.
Right.
They find ways to lose games.
Yeah, they did this year for sure.
I mean, they just find ways to lose them, and that's a culture thing. And so Golesh has an uphill battle to try to change that.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see.
I think he would be. It was a okay hire for Auburn. I think Golesh should have took a different job for now build his resume up a little bit better before he took the Auburn
I
job.
feel like the Arkansas job would have been a better job for him.
Yeah, not because it's a better job.
No.
It's not that.
Auburn's a way
Yes,
better job than
right.
Arkansas.
But just you need to build your resume up a little bit more before you take a job like Auburn or like a Florida or anything like that.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add on the SEC coaching carousel?
I don't know if there's, if this is the last domino to fall, honestly. I think there's a lot, in the works and wait and see type deal with Stoops.
What about Shane Beamer? You think he's safe at South Carolina?
I think they may give him another year. No, he's already talking big, saying they're going to be in the playoff next year.
Oh, good grief.
So you better deliver. You're going to be out next year of a job for sure. But I'm actually shocked they haven't fired him yet. They look good against Coastal Carolina, and then I forgot who else they played that they look better against A&M. But we finally saw when A&M plays a team with a pulse, they're not, I mean, they're good, but they're not great like everybody thought they were. But South Carolina.
Oh, by the way, that A&M team went into Notre Dame and beat them.
Yeah, right. Yes. 41-40 or something like that. I mean, it was close. But Shane Beamer, I think yesterday, South Carolina did not look good against Clemson, and Clemson's got off of this year too, which is another thing that's so weird to say.
It's weird.
But
hey, non-SEC related, does Mike Norvell keep his job?
They already come out and said he does for some reason, but yeah.
Jeez, please.
Does Dabo keep his? Which I think he will.
Dabo's safe. Safe.
Other than that, I don't know anybody else that could be gone on the SEC. Clark Lee is pretty much set. He got Eli Drinkwitz got a raise. Kalen
DeBoer is not going to Penn State.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Just go ahead and squash that now. You don't leave Alabama to go to Penn State. I'm sorry, Penn State people. That's just the truth. It was not even in the same stratosphere of jobs, honestly. But anyway.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up our show. Really appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back later this week to give our full preview and prediction show for the Alabama-Georgia matchup. So look forward to that. Great to be in that game, Jake. Unbelievable. After the way the season started, kind of a full circle moment to lose that opener, go 10-1 the rest of the way. Some real gutsy wins against some top 25 opponents, some tough road wins along the way as well. Think about this: undefeated on the road in the SEC.
Wow. That's
tough to
huge. That is very tough to do.
All right, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be back later this week for our full preview show of the SEC Championship game. But for Stacey Blackwood and Jake Thomas, this is Tide Talk Live. We'll see you soon. Until then, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.